This is Doug Coyle of DJ Coyle Rugby. I'm here with David Newey. David's been both an Australia Wallaby and a US Eagle 15s player. Could you tell us a little bit about both your experiences there?
Sure, yeah. It's a long time ago when my period of playing rugby in Australia, but I think I first came out of high school. In '84 I was involved in club rugby and then into the New South Wales squad and then the Aussie squad for the first ever World Cup, '87. That was played in Sydney, so I've had the good fortune of watching the Rugby World Cup grow from an idea and a concept into a world tournament for the nations that played at that time in '87 to what it is at the moment. You know, probably the second largest sporting event in the world in terms of viewing audiences and eyeballs. So it's a wonderful opportunity for me to be able to take what I learned in Australia, and now I live in America and have been here for the past 20 years, and translate that into some things that can help young kids and the teams that I've coached here. So, you know, playing at the highest level for both of those countries and being around that program was a fantastic experience.
Now, you've brought your coaching experience to the rugby youth here. You're currently, for the last 3 years, head coach of the Archmere Academy Delaware team.
Correct.
And most recently, they won the state championship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that program.
It's been exciting, you know, to be part of a youth movement here. Rugby in the high schools is obviously the fastest growing sport in the country, so to be part of that and my young children be part of that process, that's gratifying for me. Not only the fact that they play, but being able to share some information with them. So the genesis of the Archmere programs, my son Noah attends school there. So 3 years ago when he was a freshman, we got together with Drew Coco, school teacher at Archmere, and John Belace, another parent, Matt McElrath, and we decided to put together a program for the kids, and it's had some success over time, embedded the basic fundamental skills, and it's grown into a fairly significant program. We had some success this year in winning the Delaware State Sevens, and then the local Subaru Sevens and Cheesesteak Sevens, and then eventually the single school high school bracket at the CRCs, which was very, very exciting. Kids have picked up the game and are running with it, so that's a great feeling.
You regularly give back to the rugby community. Today you've taken some time out to help coach at the Atlantis Rugby camp, and I know most recently you were coaching the Elite City Sevens in basically end of August.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
I think the big part of rugby is that it's a community, and the information that I have had the good fortune to be given to me by good coaches and great coaches around the world is a bit of a pay it forward, right? So the opportunity to give some kids some instruction, from some things that I've learned, and then pass that on through. I think that's what makes the game strong and makes the community better, and the kids' performances are a reflection of some of that information, which is exciting. You know, being part of the Archmere program's been, you know, a wonderful joy for me, but also being working alongside with Chris Ryan and Pudge and Woodned, those guys at the Philly Elite Sevens team, that program that Alex Magleby and the US Rugby have put together to try and identify athletes to work into the Olympic development academies and then onto the program out there in Chula Vista. It's important, right? You know, they've got a great international program, Sevens program, national team program, but identifying players locally that work through those pathways that's key, and to be part of that is very rewarding for me.
You have a unique job right now. You're expanding arena football into China. That's very different. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear about your involvement there.
Yeah, it's a curious effort, right? You know, you mentioned China and you mentioned American football, and people, it gets their attention in the first instance, but then explaining to them what the program is. It's not unlike what I've been involved in here and helping with rugby grow in America. It's taking a new sport into a new culture in a new country and introducing the fundamentals and the grassroots. It's a massive audience, 1.4 billion people in a culture that's now shifting to be very accepting of Western sports and outside influences. So the effort with arena football has been a combination of things. It's been something that I've been involved in rugby, so I was able to translate some of those skills across into that program, and it's growing a business. We'll launch a professional competition in September next year after embedding the program in universities and colleges throughout China. So it's same shape ball, different rules, and it's indoor, so it's been fun, but I look forward to the growth of arena football in China and then watching the rugby in America continue to grow.
Are there any cultural considerations that you have to address while you're in China?
Yeah, there's a number of them. In terms, notwithstanding the first one is the language barrier. You know, from English to Mandarin. So, you know, translating instructions from how we understand them to how locals will understand them as a process, so that takes some time. In terms of what they're used to in terms of contact in China, it's been very much a individual sports influence as opposed to team sports. So rugby's really taken off in China, which I've seen, you know, out of Hong Kong back into the mainland now. So that's a focus for them, and we see crossover from rugby players coming to arena football. So there are some challenges culturally, socially, but in terms of sports and the world of sport and the joy of sport, people tend to come together for any type of cause when it's to do with sport, and no different with American football.
Well, we hope we see you more often giving your expertise to rugby, and wish you a lot of luck with this venture. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.